What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Rise Podcast, episode 230. Today, we are talking about what you might be doing wrong with sales calls, and it all kind of circles around maybe talking a little bit too much. So we're going to break this down. There are 3 different times that when you speak too much, you're speaking out of turn, or you're talking in a way you shouldn't be talking, you're often sabotaging the sale. And I know this because I do it. She knows this because she does it. You know this. As soon as we start talking about it, you're going to go, oh, yeah, I do that as well. This makes total sense. And we know that you do this because we do this. A lot of us do this. But we know you do this because every time we bring this up on a workshop, every time we put out a podcast like this, we get tons of people. Yeah, that was so good. I totally resonate with that. Every time we do this on a mastermind call with our Creative Rise Mastermind or in our grad community, anytime we talk about these, this is one of the things that we probably see the most resonation with.
Yeah.
Like people just go, oh my gosh, I resonate with that so much.
They're like, oh, you're calling me.
They're like
right
literally
now.
like at me next time. Like you're just like so precise on what I do. And I'm so glad we're talking about this because it is going to help me solve that. So we're talking about the 3 different areas in a sales call that if you continue to talk and you talk out of turn, you are screwing it up and you're sabotaging yourself deals. So when you fix these, it's really, really going to help. So I'm really excited you're here. This is going to be a great episode and you're going to learn a ton. This is going to be really applicable to your next sales call. And hopefully it gets you much closer to closing your next deal because of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. We got 3 mistakes that most creatives, including ourselves, have made in the past. And if you get over these 3 things, you're going to start selling a lot more and a lot more confidently. So if you're someone who's like, I feel like my pricing's dialed, my website, my socials, seems like my clients really like me. Why am I not selling? It may be one of these 3 things. So tune into these 3 things. We're going to start with number 1.
Yeah. And before we get into number 1, real quick, I'm Joey.
Oh, and I'm Christy.
This is Christy. We run Creative Rise, and we have been running Creative Rise since 2019 to help creatives just like you really wrap your head and dial in, figure out the business side of owning a creative business as a photographer, as a filmmaker, as a social media strategist, manager. You build websites. You're a graphic designer. Maybe you're a content creator or just an influencer, whatever you might be. This podcast exists for you, and we talk about the business side so you can actually go on to get paid to do what you love. Let's jump on into number 1. All right. So number 1 is if you continue to talk when you shouldn't be talking, you will be dominating the conversation and totally keeping them out of it. So one of the examples of this is we had a kind of a sales call mock-up workshop inside of our mastermind a couple weeks ago. We said, hey, would it be beneficial to you guys? We knew the answer to this because it always is. But would it be beneficial to you guys, 36 businesses that were in round 13 of the 6-week Creative Rise Mastermind, would it be beneficial if we kind of played a little bit of a sales call role play and one of you guys, we highlighted you and you guys pitched me as if I was the client and we got to hear that. And then I was going to flip it on you and I was going to pitch you back on your own services. And then we're going to talk about what we both did well, what we both did not do well. And shout out to Jason. Jason's awesome from the Northeast. He's got a killer business.
So good.
He did so good. He was the one that was brave enough to volunteer and pitch me as if I was the client. And then I was then flipping it back and pitching him as if he was the client on his own offers. And Jason did a lot of things really well. And then there's some things Jason did. We were like, oh yeah, we should probably try and do this. What I did well on. And there was also some stuff where I was like, I totally missed that, or I totally dropped the ball. So what was cool about that is we all get together and we get to workshop it, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we often see when we do these workshops is that people talk too much. Yeah. And when I'm sitting in the client seat, I end up going, wow, like I could just kind of walk out the door, go grab a drink of water and come back. Sometimes it might feel like you do that to your clients and like it might not even, no one might even notice because we as creatives just talk too much and we talk too much and we talk too much. So you do not want to have a sales call where you look at a recording and you are talking more than like 50% of the time.
Yeah.
You probably want your sweet spot to be like you were talking about 35-ish% of the time. Client was talking the rest of the time. And the reason for that is because when you dominate the conversation, you might think you're leading them well. And I'm explaining, no, Joey, I'm just explaining things. I'm explaining the offer, explaining the pricing, explaining our services. But the truth is, if you don't stop talking, you cannot ask them a question that will take themselves deeper into the buying process. Because here's the thing, when you get to ask people questions in a sales call process, every question someone engages with, they really battle it out in their head on how do I answer this in a way that's either going to push me away from buying or it's going to draw me closer to buying. And the goal of a sales call is to do both those things, either push someone away from buying where you're then either they're not the right person or you're going to push them away from buying and they're eventually going to tell you what their objections are and then you can handle those objections. and eventually get them back to buying, or you're pushing them because you're asking the right questions towards a buying state. So when you talk the whole time, it's really, really hard to do that.
Yeah.
And I know this because I make this problem. I make this mistake all the time.
Totally.
We've all made this mistake. Okay. So how you get around this, and we talk about this all the time on the podcast, you play the role of a doctor. Imagine you are a doctor and this client walks into your practice and you go, wow, okay, there is something wrong here. How can I help you diagnose it? Let me ask you a bunch of questions. When did you start noticing you wanted to do this? Or when did you start noticing the opportunity you guys are trying to take advantage of? When did you start noticing that this was off and you guys need to fix this, right? Ask them questions that are leading questions that are going to help them really have a constructive conversation. And most importantly, not just with you, but with their internal thoughts. That's going to help them go closer down the buying process. So be the doctor. That's a huge one.
Pro tip, write out these questions before. Like sometimes when you're on a sales call, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to ask them next? Or you freeze or things like that. Write down all of these questions before so that you can literally refer to these questions. And also pro tip, jump onto the sales call at the very beginning and tell them that you've got a series of questions that you want to ask them to better understand where they're coming from and what they need from you in order to solve the issue that they're currently facing, right?
The biggest pro tip is actually just the sales call formula course and cheat sheet that we have with that. It's $47, guys. Link in the description. It's going to be the best $47 you've spent this week. It literally shows you minute 0 to minute 3. Here's what you talk about. Minute 3 to minute 7. Here's what you talk about. Minute 7 through 18. Here's what you talk about.
Example
we give you everything, and we actually give you example questions both in the wedding space and in the brand space. It then comes with the outline. It also comes with a video that I did called the top 15 sales call objections. So I give you the most common objections. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Oh, I don't know if I have time. And I show you how you should handle all of those. So go get that. It's linked in the description here. That's going to really, really help you. But number 2.
Yes.
This is the big one.
Number 2. And this one's a little bit like niche, but number 2, people panic instead of pause. So when you're on a sales call and let's say the client asks you, okay, well, how much is this going to cost? And in your mind, you're like, I actually don't even have a number yet. Like, I don't even know what I would charge for this. Or they say, hey, I really like package 2, but what would it be if I wanted to add on an extra couple hours? Or what would it be to add on these deliverables? Or, oh, could I also do like a film with this? What would that look like? They start adjusting things for what they actually need. And you want to cater to that. And most creatives go, oh, okay, yeah, I can take a look at that and send you an email later today. Or I'll get back to you about that. Like, you freak out because you don't have the answer right then. Or like, I don't know what the math would necessarily be on that right this second. Instead of panicking and pushing it off and going, well, I'll just talk to you later about it. The problem is when you do that, you're losing the hottest time that they're willing to buy, right? Every time you push someone off and go, I'll email you later, I'll connect with you later, the likelihood that they're actually going to buy from you chops down significantly. But if you're on the call with them right there, you can actually give them a number and get the sale. So you always want to try to get the sale on the phone. So instead of panicking and pushing it off, ask for a minute. Just go, hey, you know what? That's a really great question. Give me 1 minute. Can I just give me 1 minute? I'm going to do some math right here so I can get you the exact number that it would be, just so I can get you that right now instead of making you wait. Is that okay? Right? Just ask for a minute, do the math yourself, figure out what that is. If you really want to help expedite this process, before you jump on a call, make sure you know what each deliverable costs for what you're doing. That way you can just do quick math on that and be able to roll with it. So it's never a bad thing to just say, hey, actually, I love that question. Would you just give me a second? I'm just going to do a little bit of math. Or if they ask a question about like, okay, well, where could we do this? Oh, actually, you know what? Give me a second. Let me look that up for you right now. Like, ask people for a minute. They're more than likely to want to give you that. And they're going to be way more expressive and like excited about the sale if you take that second. So take a pause instead of panicking. Just ask for a minute and do whatever you need to do in order to actually sell on the sales call. That's what you want to do on these calls.
Yeah. Well, a pro tip on that as well is if you need to extra time, you can ask for a minute. Hey, just give me a second. What I like to say then is, hey, let me just repeat back to you what I'm hearing you say you need. And then I'll start listing off all the things that we've kind of talked about. And as I'm listing them off, I'm like, okay, you said you need about 30 images. Is that right? And I'm doing the math on 30 images as they're responding to me. You said you want about 6 reels from this campaign. What was the turnaround time you wanted this? Like 7 days? Do you want it sooner than that? Like I'm asking them questions, but it's really just buying me time to help process. So you will always, always, always in the long term kill it way more if you can give somebody a really good quote on the call, even if it's like, oh, quote actually came in probably $150 lower than I would have probably quoted if I had more time to think about it rather than quoting on the fly. But you're going to land so many
Oh
more
my
gigs
gosh.
quoting on the
Yes.
fly because it looks like you
100%.
actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of respect and perceived self-confidence
Mhm.
when someone goes, yeah, give me just like 30 seconds here. Give me a minute as I chunk this all out. I'm going to get you a price. That is a very confident thing. And you will often respect someone that does it way more than, oh yeah, let me just go figure that out. I'll email you later today. So that's very
Yeah.
important. All right. Number 3, this is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
You talk yourself, you talk them, out of the deal because you don't shut up. If you do not shut up on a sales call when you say the price, you will probably sabotage the deal. And why do I know this?
Can I
'Cause
give an
I
example?
do this.
Can I give an
Yes.
example? If I was role playing a sales call to you, okay, so yeah, so this amount of deliverables, this amount of deliverables, it's gonna be $5,000. But if that's too expensive, we have other payment stuff. We go for a lower package.
Go for a lower
Or
package.
I can recommend you to someone else if that's too expensive. And the reason we charge that is because, I have a lot of gear, it takes a lot of time, and blah, blah, blah,
I just
blah.
upgraded to mirrorless cameras, by the way. Yeah. Like,
Exactly.
this is
over-explaining.
This is what happens when you are nervous. You say the price, and then you just start saying every word
over-explaining.
your brain knows on how to justify the price. And what
Yes.
happens is people sit there and go, why are they talking so much? Or why are they giving me all this useless information? Or why are they kind of confusing me with a bunch of stuff they're saying? Why are they talking about downgrading me or giving me a discount? It just gets so confusing. And when we panic, we often do this. So the best thing you can do when you are on a sales call as a photographer, filmmaker, any type of service-based creative is you can say, yeah, that's going to be $5,000. And you just shut up. And you let them respond rather than saying it's going to be $5,000 and let me know if that's okay. Is that too much? Can I break it down for you? Can I give you a smaller deal? Like you just
act like you're at the register.
You just shut up.
You're at the register and the cashier says, okay, that'll be $25. And zip, that's it, right? Not, oh, because of this, and this. And you go, okay, here's my card. Like, that's what it costs. That's what it costs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, that would be $25. And they go, but I know there's chicken back there that's also a little bit cheaper. So
yeah,
or
the quality's really nice. Like, that's why it's $25. All of a sudden, $25. When I first said it to you, I'm sure through your ears right now, it sounded inexpensive. But as soon as I start over-explaining, but the quality's really nice, and this, and this, and this, all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, am I getting scammed? Right? Like, it sounds weird, but it is so good. Stop, say the price, and then just
stop. So,
just stop.
Guys, that's a huge tip. Like, please, please, please do that.
Yeah.
Just say the price and then stop talking. If you take any tip out of this podcast, please apply all 3, but really, really focus on applying number 3, because when I stopped doing number 3 wrong, I stopped over-explaining stuff, having to justify everything when I'd put a number out there. It's just like, oh my gosh, people just start wanting to do business with you.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. So my encouragement to you is when you say the price, say it confidently, look them in the eyes, and just zip your lips, lock that thing up, throw the key away, and wait for them to respond, okay?
Yeah.
That is very important. Now, if you are like, wow, this has been some really good 3 tips on sales call stuff. Well, I'm glad. I'm so glad you're here. Please share it with a friend. Please apply this stuff to your business. This is a quick episode today, guys. But as we said earlier, if you want the sales call formula course, really, really, guys, highly recommend it. It is going to be the cheapest way to just really get some good value into your business this week. It's only about maybe 20 to 25 minutes worth of videos to watch, whether you're in the brand space or in the wedding space. And that is going to be actually watching the sales call formula training for weddings or watching the sales call formula training for brands. You're going to watch one of those 2, depending on which industry you're in, or both if you're in both industries. And then you're going to want to watch at last, you're going to want to watch the 15 objections video, how to handle the most common 15 sales call objections. So things like, that's too expensive for me, or that's not going to work for me. I don't have the time. I got to go talk to my spouse. Like, how do you really, really deal with all of these very, very common objections? So $47, you're going to get all of that. And best part is use code podcast and you'll get 10% off that. Thanks for staying here to the end. Podcast on that is going to get you 10% off the $47. Or if you join the waitlist for the Creative Rise Mastermind for round 14 coming up in the fall, if you already know you want to jump on into round 14 or you're curious about it and you want more information, just join the waitlist at creativerise.com and you'll actually get the sales call formula for free, which is really cool. It's just going to get emailed to you and grant you free access, which is awesome.
Yeah, which is really great. I just know sales calls, they were terrifying for me when I first got started. And still, they can be nerve-wracking when you're about to jump on it. You get that little adrenaline hit. But when you've got something that you can actually go off, a framework you can literally follow, oh my gosh, it makes sales calls actually really fun. So that's what we hope for you, that you'd feel confident on your sales calls, that you would land more deals. And we hope that this episode and then this course helps you do just that. So go jump in there, go grab that. And we will see you next week on our next episode. Again, this is a weekly podcast. And if you've got a topic that you would love for us to talk about or a question that you have,
hit us up. We'd
feel
love
free
that.
to DM us at Creative Rise. We would love to do that. And we love getting to know you guys. So appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.